It's time to learn how to use Guiding Quem the Virtuous the right way. If you want 5% off any single or sealed product, head over to tier0games.com and use code GALZO5 at checkout. How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel, another replay versus Superheavy Samurai. Before we begin, we are on the way to 10k subscribers, so please, if you're not subscribed, hit that sub button, like the video as well, and of course leave a comment down below once you're finished watching. And today we're talking about how to utilize Quem, and also Albion for that matter, the Sanctifier Dragon, the right way to win you games. You can get ashed. You see me getting hand trapped a lot during this match, but still pull out the dub because you need to learn how to utilize Quem to your advantage. And yeah, this was a really fun game, and let's just dive right into it. And I win the die roll, thankfully, because it's really hard versus Superheavy Samurai. And we see them opening, of course, full combo almost every hand. I think 99% of the hands are full combo because they have so many one-card starters. And of course the Veiler. We have, on the other hand, a solid hand if we get Cartesia to resolve here, or if we draw from Albion. So I didn't want to start off with Albion, because Albion, I could start off with Albion here, draw a card, maybe draw into better engine that I currently have, but it also loses to Droll. So I decided to go for the deployment, summon from hand, because in this build I currently play one Cartesia, hopefully, to summon this and, start off my combo. But, as you can see, it gets hit with Veiler, which is not a bad call, in my opinion. So now, I'm feeling okay, because I'm seeing them, playing Veiler. Maybe if they're playing Superheavy Samurai, I get to live another turn because I have the Droll. Then now, since all is lost, I will, use my Albion. Sometimes here it's better to dump Albaz, but in this scenario, I didn't have anything really useful to send off of Albion anyway. And, if I did send Albaz here, it would have been much better. But, we're going to deal with it. The plan is, going into the next turn, is use this and then also utilize Branded in red in order to extend further. And, yeah, I set the red and I pass. This is the line where they, lose to Droll the least. They do add a card, and of course you don't Droll until they have a monster on the field, and this is where I Droll. So now they still have a lot to play. They still probably manage to get to Baron here, and the next thing that they do here is activate Scarecrow. So my plan going into this was to now get Grand Guignol, so that when this effect resolves, I can use Grand Guignol to summon Quem from the deck and have another interruption for when they summon the Synchro. So this is what I did, and they activate the effect, they pay the cost, and I chain Cartesia here. I got off 2 searches here, and since this resolved while this was already on the field, I can banish it. This is at least what we figured in chat. This is what I think. If I'm wrong, leave it down in the comments below. But now I get Grand Guignol and Tragedy as well to search for follow-up for the next turn. So I banish it for cost, and remember that Grand Guignol can summon a Dogmatica monster from your deck. And Quem is a Dogmatica monster. Not a lot of people know this, not a lot of people use this effect, but yeah, this is what I did. And now I'm going to send Albaz, and now I have an interruption. So if they go into the Synchro, I have the Albaz. Also, I have the Brand in red for further interruption. And yeah, they keep playing, they equip, and they tribute to add. And they go for a Baguska here, which makes sense because if they go for the Synchro, they know I can summon back the Albaz and, fuse away. I already have the Brand in red, so, yeah, they have a Baguska, and that's absolutely fine with me. I draw for turn. There's not a lot of ways to play around Baguska in your deck, but the best bet here was to just pass turn and let them sit on the Baguska because they can't really play as well under it. So they switch to attack, so their effect can activate. They only have this starter, which is kind of bad. And yeah, they keep going here. They go for the Merrymaker, and this of course goes into the big Springans, Sour Gas, and then it can also grab a negate from the deck. But they also have Droll, but they also have Ghost Mourner, and if your opponent special summons, you can discard it, target it, negate its effect. So my Albaz is currently dead in my hand. I did not really play around it. I do play around Ogre sometimes, but there's not a lot of plays here. This is in attack. They already normal summoned. I'm pretty sure, based on how they played it, that they don't have any extension. I use Quem, activate the effect. I send the Aluber so that I can get a 2-pop Chimera if I need to. And of course, they negate it with Moonlit Chill. And I just chain Branded Red, and I hope that their 2 cards in hand don't really do anything. I draw for turn, and of course I have another Branded Red because I have the Retribution. I have follow-up, right? So I do go for a 2-pop Chimera here, and this is a pretty like Hail Mary situation because banishing Quem is not ideal because you usually play 1. You can recycle it, but it's kind of, you know, difficult. So here I'm popping their field, and hopefully they have nothing and I get to play, which was the case indeed. I draw a Droll for turn, which was incredible. And yeah, there we go. Go ahead, normal summon the Aluber, which is a really, really good top deck in this situation. Get Drolled, but it doesn't really matter because I OTK anyway. Go for the Albion, and they surrender right here. So, siding in, going second, I put in a lot of juice, and you know, I see 2 of them. This is not an incredible hand going first, but it is, you know, utilizing Quem. You can just set up Quem and Branded Lost. Sometimes that will be enough for like 2 removals. So it's really good. They play their combo. Yada, yada, yada. They do have, you know, look at this. They have the Gamma. Don't play into the Gamma because you ought to lose. They do their combo. So Kaiju's against this deck is like a bit iffy because they usually end on bigger boards than just like a Kaiju can take care of. But it could be like really good spot removal, especially here, right? This is a perfect situation where they still end with 3 hand traps. They have Ash, which is really bad for us. They have a Search when they tribute the Regulus for the negate. And the thing is that this negates effects and this negates activation, so we can still try to bait out one interaction, then Kaiju the second one, and keep playing hopefully. And we do open Branded Opening, which is really big because we can chain block now. So Branded Opening, Pitch Tragedy, Chain 1 Aluber, Chain 2 Tragedy. We add another Aluber for follow-up and Branded Fusion. So right now, what would you do? So here's my thought process going into this. I want to bait out the Baron, basically. But I can also, you know, bait out the Therion. But how about I Kaiju the Therion, then activate Branded Lost. They have to chain Baron to it, and if they don't have Ash, my combo basically goes through. And this is why I opt in to do. Maybe there's another better play here. I did want Quem to resolve as well, so I can get at least some follow-up. But yeah, I Kaiju the Regulus. They get a Search for Motorbike, so they have basically full combo all over again. Branded Lost, they get negated. Quem to get Albaz, and then Branded Fusion, which gets Ashed. And I just passed, and they draw the Mourner for turn, which is incredible. Baron, pop, and basically that's it. That might have been a better route to take. Maybe try to bait out the Regulus with a Quem, since it doesn't destroy, so it at least stays on the field, and I, you know, get maybe some follow-up. But now with the pop, it's basically over. So, you know, learn when to scoop, guys. So going first, I did want to, you know, maybe see some Gimmick Puppet engine, but they draw, again, 3 hand traps plus full combo. This is the deck that you're playing against. Get used to it. And we draw Droll, which is great. Don't take it out of your deck ever. Playing in this format, just don't. And we have a really solid hand. They have 3 interruptions, but, you know. We go for the deployment first. And activate Branded Fusion. You know, this is not ideal to not have a normal summon like Quem or Branded Opening or something. And now basically Cartesia. We have to go for it. And you can go for either Granuole to set up some follow-up, or just go for the Albion, which on their turn can actually summon the Albaz and become an interruption. And, you know, become a Mirror Jade, take out 2 monsters. That's really big. But again, they still have engine and they still have another end trap. So they pop it. I don't have any valid targets for this, but oh, actually, maybe I do. Maybe Albion. I can't see the Albion here, but maybe Albion requires Albaz plus a Spellcaster. So maybe that was an illegal play, which it honestly might have been kind of good, but you know, I missed it on the spot since this is Spellcaster. So I think maybe it's a light Spellcaster. So maybe I'm good. So unfortunately, I let them draw. But I do have Droll, so at least here I don't die. And again, don't play into the Gamma. They add here. You have to let them add a little bit. That's the way it is. They still go for the Link, discard, summon, make the Excel, make the Baron. And they also have the Soul Peacemaker. Can tribute. And now they make a Sargass. I'm kind of interested to know if they actually took out the Regulus in the side. Because like if you get their Regulus here, you win. But they don't do that. They go for damage. And they actually go for Zeus. And I draw Retribution, which is so huge in this scenario because the obvious play, there's only one play in this hand. This is annoying, right? But a normal Albaz, pitch Retribution, it gets negated, destroyed, and then you recycle the Brand Fusion and pray to God they don't have Ash. This is basically all you can do at this point. So Albaz, pitch Retribution, they have to negate, chain the Retribution, bring it back, no Ash. I go for the Albion line just to have as much monsters as possible. And also, if Albion gets destroyed, you can still resolve it from the graveyard, and it's all good. So they go for the Albion here, and they have Mourner. I go for the Albion, they have the Mourner. And now, thankfully, I have two Albaz in the graveyard. If I had one Albaz, that might have been a bit rough. I could still go for Granguignol, but I have to chain Branded in Red here. And they chain the Zeus. I'm not really sure what that does. It prevents me from an additional fusion, because I can go Albaz into this, make Mirror Jade, then banish these two and make an Albion, for example. So yeah, they pop the field, which honestly I really hope they would, because now they're top decking. I still get a Mirror Jade, and now I'm setting up. This is gone right now. This goes. Everything goes. The field remains empty. I have a card in hand. What I really want to do here is set up a Quem, so if they have to like normal summon anything, link one, I go Quem, get another Mirror Jade, and that's game. This is why you play Titaniclad, guys. So banish that, pops the field, end phase, and now I can also return the Cartesia here, just to have another card in hand. There's no reason for it to be in the graveyard because I would rather summon the Albaz. And honestly, by the way, I can also summon just the Mirror Jade. I don't have to use this interaction because this card mentions Fall of Albaz. So they link one, I can go Mirror Jade, and they have one card, and it should be over, right? So they have Gamma here, which you should always play around. Just remember, Gamma is a thing. I go for Cartesia in the hand to actually bait out a Gamma here. And they could have Gamma. That's a pretty good Gamma. But it still doesn't, it doesn't not lose them the game. It doesn't protect them enough. I use the effect. I'm kind of surprised they don't use this, to be honest. But they kind of know my hand at this point. I draw Expulsion for turn. Albion, and then Quem, and then I set the Expulsion. So the game state here is that they have a card in hand. I'm pretty sure from playing the game that it's a hand trap, because otherwise it would have been in like an engine or just like a hard brick. They have a Baron in their graveyard. So, thinking about the next turn, they have 2 cards versus my 3 cards. So, first of all, I can get the Baron to my field, right? I can also get a Mirror Jade on my field with Albion, and I have to just give them a monster. And on top of that, I have Expulsion, that by tributing this, I can actually summon the Baron and Albaz, or Cartesia. So, this it's a really, really insane board, just by cards that don't do much on their own. Your opponent kind of needs to play, but with the setup I currently have, it's kind of over from that. I draw Brand Fusion for turn, they draw a Stealthy for the next turn, and this is really how you play technical, high-level technical play using the new cards. Quem on the field creates so much pressure, and you saw me getting hand trap. Ash twice, Mourner twice, Ogre, Gamma, whatever you want, Veilered, and still pull through because the resource game that Branded plays is just exceptional. So I hope you did learn something from this. Hope you enjoyed. Again, we're on the way to 10K. And of course, shout out to my sponsor, sleevecheap.de. Galzo5, 5% off. The most beautiful, best looking accessories out there. Sleeves, oversleeves, deck boxes, everything you want. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.